down in this farm that I trap, and I just come across a fresh set of coyote tracks that came through last night. You can see some straw there. I had a straw set over there, and it's been there for a couple weeks. I didn't get no action on it. I had one do a little scratching out in front of it. I got snowed on a few times. I kind of just left it alone, and I don't know what the deal is, but they won't. Two of them walked by it right here last night. So we aborted ship there. I had a couple footholds on drags. I pulled them out, and we're kind of down in the bottom. And last week I caught 2 males up on that wood on that corner. I made a catch, pulled, made another catch, pulled. It's went cold since then. I made a catch up on that corner last week, and these coyotes dropped down in here, and they're working around this berm here. And since my hay set isn't working, I've got a couple blind sets up on the rim of this, but they haven't connected yet. They haven't. One jumped up and walked the rim just a little bit on the corner, but he didn't come in contact with my gear. I had 2 lured sets up there a few weeks ago, but I caught a possum in one and a coon in the other. We had a warm up, but I came down here and I'm looking at the bottom of this berm, and I'm looking for a standout feature because we've got some snow. We've got some rain and some weather coming, but this grass clump right here stands out to me, and I'm going to show you how to put a flat set in. I'm going to have my fiance film. So what we've got is we've got this standout clump of grass here. I've kind of laid the grass back for a reason. I don't have waxed dirt. I use dry dirt and stock salt. And the reason I use it is because it's easy. I can go to a barn and get dry dirt anytime I need it. And stock salt's $5 for 50 pounds, so I don't have to spend the time making wax dirt or wax sand or what have you. The only downfall to this is if we get a freeze thaw situation going, my stuff starts failing and I have to pull it out and replace it. But so what we've got here is I've dug out a bed. I threw in a couple handfuls of dry dirt, and I've got some stock salt down. This section is kind of clumpy. This section's kind of clumpy, and this was a natural low spot in here, and I took a broom and I just swept the snow back to open this up a little bit. Because in the snow you've got 2 choices. You can either make it look like you weren't there, or you can make it look like a bomb went off, and I prefer to make it look like a bomb went off myself. I'm just going to open this up and make it look real consistent. But there's the 550. I got polyfill under the pan for, I don't use a pan cover, I use polyfill. I've got a heavy layer of salt. I'm gonna lay the 550 in its bed. I haven't even packed dirt around it. Solid as a rock. Then next, I salt on top of these levers pretty good. Then I'm gonna go around the perimeter of this trap and get some more salt going. I'm a big fan of the stock salt. I'll even get some inside the jaws. Then we're gonna go back to our dry dirt. And this is, like I said, this is out of a lean-to. It's powder dry. And I'll put a little on it. And then I'm gonna find my pan. I kind of just lightly tamp around it and keep everything. I want everything flat. I don't want no real. This is a flat set. I don't want no real aggressive guiding going on. So we've got it bedded in. I see a pebble right there that could give me some trouble. Let me get that out of there. So we've got it bedded in there. I'm gonna give it another layer of salt. And I'm pretty generous with the salt. And a lot of guys don't like salt because they can't figure out how to stop the wet spot. So what happens is salt attracts moisture, so it's going to show a moist spot when everything's dry, and it's going to show a thawed spot in the snow. And guys just can't seem to figure out how to combat that. And I'm going to show you. It's actually really easy. So I've got a layer of dry dirt, salt, bedded my trap, dry dirt, salt on top, and then I'm going to dry dirt it some more. And I mean, I'm going to give this thing, I'm not going to be bashful, I'm going to give this thing a 1/2 inch of covering. And I'm kind of going to fix my pattern a little bit. Kind of rough this. I want this clump here. I want these to be a little bit pronounced. I want that animal right there. Here's from where I dug my trap bed. I'll throw it up around in here. These chunks here, I'll kind of rough it up front. So what we end up with is a nice low section here. And that doesn't always control their feet like we wished it would. But so there it is, and I can leave this wide open, which we've got some rain coming in. I have to plan for that. And if I leave this wide open, so what we've got is we're going to have grass in here from this hay field, and I'm going to have an open dirt pattern, and they're not going to like it. So I'm kind of going to pick at this shit, get some grass. I'm going to take my trusty scissors. I'm going to blend this in. So, on top of our final layer of salt, we got a 1/2 inch of dry dirt, which is gonna hide that moist spot. And now, I just made some clippings. I'm gonna lightly brush that in, just kind of tamp it down. And now, when this shit thaws out, everything's consistent. Well, now we've only got this dirt right here, which you can tell I've been working right here, which I don't like. You know, I got to make this. They'll come up here and they're gonna skirt this fringe, and they're not gonna like it. So I've got to open this up a little bit, and we're just gonna use a broom. We're gonna get some of this shit out of here. We're going to make a little bit more of a mess. And it's going to give them a nice, messy pattern to get into before they get to my gear. And I'll finish that up with my, you can see it's still kind of white. I'm going to take my hammer and I'm just going to rough things up a little bit. And I'll even take, I'm not scared, take some of this and kick it back in there, get it looking consistent. And I like what I've got there. So everything's roughed up. We've made a big mess. We've made some eye appeal, which is like a big billboard. I'm gonna put my attractant in under the tuft of this grass. I'm just gonna use a stake driver in there. I'm going to make a wobble hole. I'm going to make one. And two. And then we'll lure this real quick. I'm a big bait fan too, so I'm going to shove some bait in this hole. I buy these little sticks from Meyer, the little craft sticks. You can get like 750 of them for like $2, and they make awesome lure sticks. I keep everything in an ammo can. When I made these holes, I kind of made one bigger than the other on purpose. This is Wolf and Baits and Lures Cabillo Diablo, which is a tainted horse base bait. I've done pretty damn good with it so far. This is my first year using it. Just about a tablespoon. I'm going to spoon it into that hole. and then I'm going to push it. That's just a wobble hole. And I'm going to get it down in there about as far as I can. And some people are going to say, well, how was that a flat set when you just made 2 holes? Well, you can make a baited flat set. And I prefer to keep my shit in a pocket, you know. This is Katz Brothers Evanesce. It's a curiosity lure. I'm going to keep it above the ground at the clump, the base of the clump. It's got you can smell a lot of mink land in it. And then this is Jim Tate's. I've got it in my own bottle. This is Jim Tate's. It's called Twister. And this is some good shit. I'm going to drop this in that other hole. Now, got a little on my finger for good measure.
Great.
So, got a flat set, as I call it, clump of grass, a couple punch holes. I'm going to do one more thing here. They're going to come up and they're going to paw at this. They're going to come up and they're going to paw at this clump. I'm going to tease them with a little piece of wool. When they part that clump open, I want them to find this. Once they find this, I've got their attention and I'm going to get them to stay here for a little while longer. And we're just going to lay that on top of that baited hole and just show a little bit of it. So now, I call it a flat set. You see me make 2 punch holes and you're wondering, man, a flat set with 2 holes seems like a dirt hole set. Well, what ends up happening is there's a lot of trapping pressure here locally. I've caught 7 here this year. I got a guy 2 properties over. He's caught 1. He shot 1 the other day. They're used to seeing dirt holes everywhere. There's a flat set. There's no holes visible. And so the finished set, I'm going to rough this up. And like I said, just I'll make a bigger area. And that's how I put in flat sets in the winter. I just caught 1 here yesterday on a flat set. It was on the backside of a wind-blown hill. It was under 10 inches of snow. You use good lure. It's got a little calling power, and you'll put them right where you need them. They're dropping down in this bottom from all over in here. This is public land. They're dropping down in here, and we come up over this berm here, and this drops down in there probably 15, 20 feet, and they're down in there hunting. They want to run this 2-track around this thing. They want to run up on the rim of it. I've got some blind sets for some coyotes that don't want to play the lure and baited game, but there's the flat set there, and that's how I put them in, and I shouldn't share it, but that way maybe somebody else can use some of this.